Welcome along to our opposition preview, the show that gives you the lowdown on Saints' next opponents, and we're back in FA Cup action on Saturday afternoon with a visit of Watford to St Mary's in the 4th round, and here once again to tell us more about the revolving door at Watford Football Club. John from the Watford podcast, From The Rookery End. Big thanks for joining us again once again, mate.
Hi. Oh no, am I allowed to use my hand? Oh, okay. I'll leave it for now.
We're a hands-free podcast. Right, let's talk about the game only a few weeks ago, and we'll touch upon the hand in a minute. But we visited the Vic a few weeks ago. It was a game of two halves, the old cliche football. We're comfortable in the first, and then Silva throws on some two big men, causes all sorts of problems, and then of course the handball. Unbelievable that referees don't see it, and I think Lionel probably bottled it on the day. What did you see of it, and what was your reaction when it goes in?
On the day, didn't notice it. Let's say just in that quickness of the game and the heat of the moment, didn't really notice what he used. Just you assume head. Like you say, that first half was scary. Was one of the worst halves we've sort of seen, and everything's been a bit scary recently. And then, like you say, two big lumps. Let's get the two English lads on to play 4-4-2. Let's not go all continental and beautiful. And Gray and Deeney, we've been crying out for playing with each other all year. Gray's not been firing, cost us 18 million quid. And when's he been successful? When he's played with the big man? When's Deeney been successful? When he's played with the little man? And it just hasn't happened. But it did then, and I think, like you say, there was a massive turn, because of the style, but also because of Troy and what he does as a leader. And then, like I say, the handball was what it was, and I'm still not 100%. It was 100%. It's not Maradona. It's not where he went, I'm going to use my hand. It was almost a ricochet move and all the rest of it. I truly believe it balances up over the season, because we should have got a win against Spurs at home, where the ball came across and Eric Dyer definitely hit it down. But those things it missed. In
real time, when I was sat at the other end of the pitch, we couldn't see anything. And I was livid when I heard about it afterwards, talking to some of the Watford guys afterwards. But it's almost like something you see on a Sunday League pitch. He's kind of misjudged the ball, he's completely missed it with his head, and it's gone off his arm.
It almost felt like, again, I can't speak for Doucouré, but it's almost like it was that last minute, I'm just going to throw myself towards it. And he did. And what I still can't quite figure out is, again, I really looked at it in detail, was did it hit his head and then his hand or what? And, unless I had that 360-degree camera around it, I don't think I could get it. But like I say, you get away with some, and then you certainly get some against you. Yeah,
and it's just our luck this season. But this week, another managerial change. Marco Silva gets a sack. The statement says something about the unsettling from Everton's dirty tactics. But the bottom line was it was apparently one win in about 10, which is still only mildly better than Pellegrino's record this season. But what did you make of it all? Was it right for him to go?
Was it only 10 games that felt like more? No, I mean, absolutely. The slump, let's say, or the decline that we saw started after we played Everton. That was a particularly bad game. But after that, it really, really has just gone downhill. Especially from where we were at the beginning of the year, just playing the most beautiful football, transitioning from back to front, a midfield that was dominating our games. We were high up in the league and felt like it. But it all has fallen apart, and no matter what he did, any manager who has that sort of form has got to be questioned. And from what we know, and what you hear, let's say, rather than know, his relationship, because of that Everton situation, fell apart completely with the management and the club. I think what Watford did was they said, no, Everton, we are not going to be little Watford. We are a Premier League football team, so we are not going to let you come and swoop our talented manager after 9 games. And then from his point of view, he's probably going, am I ever going to get a big club come after me again? I know they're not a massive club, but they're a step above Watford.
This sounds familiar with our certain centre-back.
Yeah. And then it's sort of another step up again. And they all want to play at manage big clubs. You're not going to go from Watford to a big club. You're going to have to go somewhere in between. And I think he sort of was grabbing. And as my co-host Mike has been saying recently, he didn't back himself. He didn't back himself to go, right, okay, I'm popular, I'm liked, I'm going to go away, I'm going to do something at Watford, I'm going to push Watford higher than they've done in the last few years. And I truly believe because of that, people will come in for him. Bigger clubs will come in for him if he can do what he was doing for an entire season. I think his stock might have dropped slightly because he has only done it for a couple of months at Watford and he ended it for a couple of months at Hull. Is he what you think he could be? I don't know. And it'll be interesting to see where he sort of ends up next. Is it sooner or maybe in the summer?
It's not something that it's unexpected though, because obviously Pozzos are prone for this sort of thing. Remind me how many managers it's been over the last, I don't know, 5-6 years?
9. Depends how you look at it though. One was for 8 days. One started and had a heart attack, so we don't count those two. What I will say about them is they make the changes when they're needed, and they always do them for the right reasons. The one that feels like an ex-girlfriend that got away was Slav, who's at Fulham now. He got us up. He was doing good things. It wasn't really an obvious reason why. I suspect the reasoning was to attract a certain level of player that they thought they would have to get in the Premier League, that he wasn't the man to do it. So we had Kike. Kike did a job, but actually was he the man for the next level? No. But Walter wasn't either. And the one we say about Marco is that he seemed to be the one to do these things, but then he hasn't. But our new fella, as far as we're aware, from all the great props and stuff we're hearing coming over from Spain, he could really be the all-rounder that we sort of need. And
his name is Javi Gracia. I thought it was a spelling mistake. I thought it was Garcia, but it is Javi Gracia. Former clubs, Malaga, Ruben Kazan. Only Watford would sack somebody in the morning and have somebody in by tea time.
The time difference between the he's leaving tweet and he's arrived tweet was 8 hours and 19 minutes.
It's a day's work, right, isn't it?
Yeah. And but like I say, that's what the Pozzos are in terms of owners. They've been running a Udinese since the mid-80s. It's not like they don't know who's good and they don't know who's available. It's not that they were having someone in place to take over Marco. They would have always have known. They know the next one, I suspect. Or if as it did happen, Oscar Garcia, when he was with us and he had a heart attack and had to stop, they probably knew already who was going to be the next person. They weren't just considering one person every single time you change a manager. Don't consider one person. You know who your 2-3 choices or possible choices are going to be.
It's like he was on standby already. But what have you made of him so far? Do you think it'd be much different? I mean, have you managed to figure out much of his tactics or anything that he'll be employing on Saturday?
No, not at all, really. You don't know what kind of manager and where his head is. We do play Stoke again a few days after we play you in the FA Cup. So how did you view the FA Cup game? How do you view it? Are you viewing it as a stepping stone or as, all right, lads, going to have a play around? I've seen what you've done the last couple of months. I think this is the best thing for you, but I don't want to see it in action in front of me. You might make some changes. Again, we haven't. What would be interesting is when he did his press conference at the end of the week, to sort of what he starts saying about the next, or if he makes choices, or if he starts talking about formations. The formation we probably want to see is the two up front, Gray and Deeney. It's one of those things where, as a football fan, you see something and you just want to see it a bit more. You don't know if it's right, you don't know if it's wrong, but you just want to see it a little bit more.
Yeah, and it's typical that Saints in the luck that we've had this season. I reckon Watford might have that new manager bounce. But you mentioned just there, does he go for the FA Cup? Does he prioritise the league? In your opinion, what would be your expectation for Saturday? Does he prioritise retaining a league place and just sort of write off Saturday? What's your prediction?
I really don't know. I mean, I don't know how. If it was Marco still, I think. And where he was, was fighting for your life, you just want the win. And a win's a win is an important thing. And I think still maybe a win's a win, and that's the important thing for this Watford side. But it's how he sets up. I don't think he's going to go and start a team of youngsters or second choice. He'll start with the first choice, and he'll just make some changes as the afternoon goes on. We are limited a little bit in terms of injuries still. His first choices aren't there, so that might be a thing he limits him, let alone what he wants to do or if he wants to change things.
Well, excellent stuff. Tough one to predict, but I certainly hope that Saints pull something out of the bag. But John, big thanks for joining us, mate.
No worries.
And hopefully we'll try and catch up after the game on Saturday. You heading down?
Yeah, we're heading down, heading down fairly early. Big gang of us from the Rookery End, so it should be a lovely day out. Hopefully, a bit of sunshine.
Excellent stuff. Well, remember to go ahead and check out From The Rookery End over on iTunes, and the links will be in the cards and on the description. And don't forget to go ahead and leave us your predictions for the FA Cup 4th round Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock kickoff. Leave us your likes, your comments, and subscribe for more.